Hello everybody, Xanathar here, and today I'm doing a review of Godzilla King of the Monsters. So let's get into this review. The film opens up with aftermath of Godzilla's destruction. And you see a character called Steve Martin, he's crushed by rubble, and it cuts away to him in the hospital with a bunch of dying people from radiation poisoning and getting crushed by rubble after Godzilla's attack. And you see later on, a couple of days later, while Steve Martin is on a plane going to go see his good old friend Sarasawa. And he gets stopped by the police, and they asked him if he saw anything, and he thinks he's getting arrested, and he finds out about ships going down, getting attacked by Godzilla pretty much. And you don't know about Godzilla yet in the film, so he goes to an island with supposedly one of the people being there, and he learns about the legend of Godzilla, and then he goes to sleep, and then Godzilla attacks the island, crushing some nearby buildings, and a really scary scene. It used to scare me a lot as when I first saw the film as a kid. So anyways, the next day, they find out Godzilla came back to the island, and they go hike on the mountain, they see Godzilla there, and he wars at them. And the first time you see Godzilla in the film, and it's not a great puppet. But the other effects is really good, being made by ABC Rewire, and the suit is really great, and the visuals are awesome in the film. Anyways, so Steve Martin is amazed what he sees, and he goes, he runs down, and his translator falls down. Also, I should mention he had a translator for helping him understand the Japanese language. And his translator falls down, being scared by Godzilla, so he helps him up, and they go off. Anyways, I should talk about the other characters. So the main character is Steve Martin. And then there's Nadeko, Ogata, Sarasawa, and Dr. Amani. Dr. Amani is a paratardist, and he really in all Godzilla. And then there's Nadeko, and she's supposed to get married to Sarasawa, but she don't love Sarasawa that way. She had great respect for the man, but she is in love with Ogata. And I also just apologize, I might be saying the Japanese name's Juan. If I do, I'm sorry. Anyways, let's get back to the movie. So they decide to drop off depth charges in the ocean to kill Godzilla, and Dr. Amani is really upset about that. And Nadeko goes to tell Sarasawa about her feelings about Ogata, and Sarasawa says, "I gotta tell you something," and he shows her the Ocean Destroyer, and she's in horrifying, and later you find out the Ocean Destroyer, what it does is it melts down creatures to its bones and then mentally nothing. Later on, it cuts to a party, and these people are having a great old time. And then Godzilla crashes the party and makes everybody run away. And he starts attacking Japan, so he started attacking Japan again. And he runs away afterwards, back into the ocean, and they have a plan to use these electro towers to stop Godzilla. And it don't work. Godzilla used the atomic breath and melt those electro towers down, and he started attacking Japan. And Steve Martin is narrating everything, what's going on, and Godzilla started destroying the city, and then eventually Steve Martin's building he's in gets destroyed, and he gets crushed by rubble, and it cuts back to the opening of the film. Anyways, he's talking to Nadeko and Ogata, and she tells him about the Ocean Destroyer, and Steve Martin tells her you have to tell him to use it against Godzilla. So she goes with Ogata to tell Sarasawa about using the Ocean Destroyer, and there's a brief fight with Sarasawa and Ogata gets really hurt, and Nadeko starts screaming and crying, and she starts to tend to Ogata, and Sarasawa sees, start watching TV, and he sees all destruction what Godzilla did, and then this cryo girl scene moves him so much where he decides to use the Ocean Destroyer, and the main reason why he don't want to use the Ocean Destroyer because he don't want to get into the wrong hands. In the Japanese version, I should mention, he just don't trust any hands with it. But that's the point. I'm talking about the American version. And American version, he's don't want to get in the wrong hands. So, yeah. So he burns all his pages and agrees to use it. And it cut to a ship with all the characters on it. And, So, Sarasawa and Ogata goes down to the ocean where Godzilla's sleeping, and Ogata goes up first, and Sarasawa unleashes the Ocean Destroyer, and he cuts his rope so he can't go up, and he sacrifices his life to kill Godzilla. Godzilla goes up one last time for one last dying war, and Steve Martin narrates the ending of the film, losing the great man. So that's pretty much it with this film. Plot. The film that I should talk about the Japanese version was done by effect by ABC Owara, and he does a great job with the miniatures and the other things. The miniatures, the suits, the puppets, everything is really good. The puppet is not that great though. The original film was was directed by Shiro Honda, and Shiro Honda does a great job. But that's a Japanese version that I didn't film, so I'm not really going to get into that. Also, the music was done by Furibe Kube, and he also did the classic Godzilla War, and the war is really horrifying. The music is quite good also in this movie, and I listened to it a lot. Godzilla was played by Haru Nakajima, and Haru Nakajima played Godzilla until the Winter Godzilla all the way to Godzilla with Gigan. So he played Godzilla a lot of times. And yeah. This film, I do have a bit of nostalgic memory. I get how old I was. I must have been like 7 maybe when I saw the film. A neighbor let me borrow it and on tape, and I popped it in, and I remember when Godzilla attacked that village at night, and all you hear was Godzilla's war. I remember I was so scared I shut the film off. Yeah. And I have a real history with the film a little bit. Later on in my later life, when I got a little older as a kid, I actually hated this film. I thought it was awful. I never saw the one show yet, but I thought it was awful, and I thought it was boring and stupid, and, I was like 9 when I was saying this, maybe. But as I got older, especially to my age right now, I really, really like this film. I have far more respect for it nowadays. I think it's very well done how they cut the Japanese footage with the American footage. Sure, some of, like, the one scene in the movie where they actually talk about, Godzilla, and they don't even know about Godzilla yet. At the beginning of the film, it's kind of off, and you listen, Godzilla, what Godzilla sounds like in Japanese. It's kind of like, oh, well, they're not talking about what they're talking about. But, yeah. But the sad point, I think ignore those facts. Pretty okay. The film was dubbed by 2 actors and 1 female actor, and that's interesting, I guess. The dubbing is not that good. No, not really good at all. But the main thing that really watched about this version is Raymond Burr's character, Steve Martin. He does such a great job narrating the whole Godzilla things. Godzilla attacking the city adds so much more power to the scenes. And basically his facial expressions, he's basically acting to nothing, but his facial expressions say a lot. And he does a really good job at acting in the movie, and I really like that. So, what rating would I give this movie? I would give it a 7 out of 10. I still think it's really good. I know a lot of people hate on it because it's pretty much a butchering of No Winter Godzilla, but you kind of gotta see the film as its own thing. Don't see it as No Winter Godzilla. It's its own movie. It's something different. And if you look at its own thing, you can find far more things you like about it. Especially with Steve Martin. He makes the movie. He's the main guy. And also, I should mention, this was one of the few Godzilla movies that most people probably foresaw. You know, was not for this film, Godzilla won't be the big star he is right now. So I think people should see this movie again in a different light. You know, this film never got made, and never got released in America. Godzilla won't be as popular. There will not be as many Godzilla fans in the US and Canada. So I really expect this film. Okay, that's it with this review. Xanathar out.